Hey guys, welcome back to Robertson's Belly Acres. I've got Rusty chopped off there.
Hi.
We are just past Christmas, and I don't know about the rest of you guys, but usually about this time of the year, it's like, okay, now everything's, we Christmas shopped and we did all of this stuff, and then we bills are coming in, so now's the time when we have to stop going, hey, this is what I want for supper, and let's look and see what we have to make for supper. So let's kind of look around and see what we can find. Not that we are out of groceries. It's just you get to this point where you are going to be more proactive in using what you have. Okay, guys. I found a roast. I had put this in the refrigerator last night, so it's still a little frozen, but it's going to make it perfect, because what we're going to do with that is Rusty is going to use his nice Gamekeeper meat slicer, and we're going to cut this roast into some very, very thin steaks so that we can marinate it with some Italian dressing, maybe toss in some onions and some zucchini, saute all that together. I also found some macaroni, and I still have half a thing of whipping cream from the holidays. We use that a lot, and some shredded cheddar cheese. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to make us a good sauteed vegetable and beef with some homemade macaroni and cheese. It sounds like a plan to me. And we didn't go to the store at all.
Yay!
Yay! I mean, not today.
Not today. Thank God. Okay, I've got this set. We're going to run the first steak through here. Just see how, make sure I'm making them thin enough. It gets kind of loud, so here we go, and we'll try one. Perfect.
That's perfect little pan steak. Those are going to marinate nice.
It's still kind of frozen, but that makes it cut real good.
So do you have this set on the thickest setting?
Yes, this is as thick as it'll go. So we're going to get, I should get about 12 or 15 of these little steaks out of it.
We do have company coming tonight as well. Our niece and her boyfriend are coming to see us, so we're really excited about that. And it'll be nice to have a good home-cooked meal for when they get here.
Couple college kids.
Couple of college kids. They don't get a whole lot of the home-cooked stuff, but I don't know. Cammie's a pretty good cook. She makes some good stuff.
She learned from a couple of good cooks. I've never had her mama's cooking, but I know her daddy's a hell of a cook, so.
All right, so what do you got?
All right, there we go. I've got steaks here. Let's see, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14.
14 little steaks, and they're going to be good because, like I said, we're going to saute them up with some onions and zucchini. We might even throw a little jalapeno in there for some kick. But right now, let's get them seasoned up and get them in the marinade while we get everything else ready. Okay, so because we're going to marinate everything in just regular Italian dressing, I'm not going to put a whole lot of seasoning on there because it's going to be in the marinade. So I just have regular salt and regular pepper. That's all we're going to put on there. The idea to marinade in the Italian dressing, that actually came from our niece Carmen. I don't know, you might have seen the video before where we were sharing the kitchen and she was making snickerdoodles. And I'll put a link up in the corner if you want to watch that one to kind of see who Carmen is. But she makes some really bomb Italian chicken, and I never thought to use Italian dressing as marinade, but it comes out amazing. So we're going to try it on these steaks and see how this goes. On these steaks, this roast, also one of our previous videos, we were looking for corn husks to make our tamales, and we stumbled across this deal at Reese's where it was $40-something for $48, I think it was, for all of this meat. So in a bag. Anyway, I'll put a link to that video as well, because that was such a good score, and we still have, hold on, I gotta shake that. We still have some meat left over from that, and this is one of those roasts. So we're just going to, we've just kind of piled it all in here, and
if I can ever get this blasted bottle open.
You want to take the top out of that. If you take that little top out, a lot of times it's, otherwise you're fighting it, but then that way you can just pour, just get rid of the little squeeze top and just pour that in, and we'll kind of flip those around, but you want a bowl big enough that everything gets covered. So let me grab a fork. So we want to make sure that everything is just covered in there, and then what we're going to do, okay, so we've got all of this in there. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of foil paper and cover this bowl up and put it back in the fridge until I'm ready to fry it. It doesn't need to marinate that long. If you know, if you think about it early enough, you can always put it to marinate overnight or at least a couple of hours. But we're just going to cook this right up in a little bit. I'm just going to put it in there while we get all the vegetables ready. Okay, well, let's get these onions chopped up. If you follow our cooking videos any amount of time, you know that onions are a staple in most of my cooking. I think I put onions in everything. I'm lucky I don't have picky kids. They've always just kind of eaten what I make them. I joke that my family loves my cooking because I wait till they're absolutely starving before I make dinner. And then, you know, anything's great, right? But I do put onions in just about everything. I know. You guys, I was so excited to see that I still had zucchini in the refrigerator because I love zucchini and I use it. It's such a versatile vegetable. I do all kinds of things with it. I make crust with it, and I make noodles with it, and I make just all kinds of great yummy things with it. The other day I was trying to finish up all of the you know, the extra stuff that we had from holidays. So we had extra apples and extra celery and zucchini, and so I made a Waldorf salad using zucchini and apples and raisins, and I was able to clear out a lot of stuff just by throwing that together. But I thought I had used all of my zucchini, so I was really excited to find this in the refrigerator because it's going to go great with the steak and onions and Zesty Italian. So just score for us. So really, who doesn't like to cook in butter? I've gotten to where I don't use oil that much at all. I use butter. I can't wait until we can have butter from the farm. So, you know, a dairy cow is on my radar, but you know, we just got to get there first. First things first, we've got some goats out there that I'm really excited to milk this spring. So maybe we can do some goat butter, and then we'll kind of evolve from there to the dairy. Okay, so while those veggies are sauteing in that butter, I did go ahead and cut up a jalapeno and throw it in there just for a little bit of heat. I'm going to go ahead and get started on this mac and cheese. So I'm going to put some water to boil and a little bit of salt. I'm not going to put oil in the water because then my cheese sauce will not stick to the macaroni. Okay, the thing about our kitchen is we stay pretty busy while we're in here because there's always something going on. So, Rusty's awesome, and he just made us some coffee, and that's always a good thing in the evenings for us. Yes. So basically, while we're waiting for vegetables to saute and water to boil and meat to marinate, we can be working on the breadcrumbs that we're going to put on top of the mac and cheese when we go to bake it. So I just find the heels because everybody leaves the heels. I don't know why. It's actually my favorite part of the bread. But anyway, I just find the heels that are left. That one was wheat bread. It doesn't really matter. You know, if it's a little hard, it's even better. Another heel, this is white bread. I mean, it's going to be just really for the crunch and for the texture, so it doesn't matter in that way. Sometimes I put a little bit of Italian seasoning. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of Italian seasoning in there, but I really want this to just be regular mac and cheese because I don't want to, I don't want to adjust the flavors in any way. So let me, it just kind of depends on what I feel like. So I didn't season these breadcrumbs at all. So, but I have wheat bread and white bread in there. So that's going to be a good crunch added to the mac and cheese. So I'm just going to set that aside because we will use that here in just a little bit. There's no need in going out and buying already breadcrumbs that are already done. And if you need breadcrumbs that are more like a panko or something of that nature, just toast your bread first. It's the same thing. No need in spending the extra money when you can do it right there at home. Okay guys, so our onions are getting nice and dark, and I do want them a little caramelized this time. Sometimes I don't want the sweet, but I do want the sweet in this because the dressing that we're using on the steaks is zesty. So I think that sweet will definitely complement the zestiness in there. But these are cooking down great. So we'll be pulling out those steaks here in just a little bit and adding those to the pan. What I'll probably do, yeah, because beef doesn't take very long to cook. I mean, I guess it just kind of depends. None of us are really well done kind of people. We kind of like to have that a little bit. I like to be able to chew my steak. I don't want it to be burnt. But I know a lot of people are well done kind of people. So if you want your steak well done, I would suggest take the vegetables out and then cook the steaks and then put the vegetables back in. But because we're not going to go well done, I will just throw the steaks in with it because I'm not scared that my onions are going to burn. But I am going to turn this down just a little bit. I say a little bit. I'm going to turn it down a whole lot. You hear these two back here. There's like this major game of rummy going on over here. And they're yelling at each other. So so we got to keep an eye on them. Okay guys, these have been marinating for about 30 minutes. So as you can see, they're not frozen anymore. They're good and thawed out, but they have a lot of this, plenty of this dressing on there. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of move vegetables around and add them to the pan because I'm not concerned that the vegetables are going to get too done, because I won't leave the steaks in here that long.
I was not getting what I needed because you had it in the
I don't know that we're going to be able to fit them all in, will we?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it. Looks like we might have a pan full.
Let's see how much we can squeeze in there.
See if you can get as many of those little steaks in there as Mama got chicken in the pan the other night.
Oh my goodness, we made some fried chicken, and I don't know how we fit all those thighs in there, but it was beautiful. That one right there, it's a big one. I wish you guys could smell it. Oh, it smells so good. It just makes my mouth water. That Zesty Italian dressing just has so many different flavors melded together already that it's just beautiful. You know what? We only have 2 more little pieces. So I'm going to try to squeeze them in here, manipulate the steak just a little bit. I don't want to pile them on top of each other. Oh, well, that's just a piece of bristle, really.
Yeah, that's good flavor.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the rest of this marinade and I'm just going to kind of dump that on top, and I will put a lid on top of this.
Put a lid on it.
Put a lid on it and turn my flame up just a smidge and just let all of that cook together, and then we'll come back and we will turn those steaks. But we really want those steaks to be tender, so we're going to, I wanted to put extra, you know, the marinade in there with it, so that way it kind of cooks down all together. Okay guys, these have been cooking for about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and turn them because, like I said, I don't want them to get overcooked, but I do want them to be very, very tender. So, and it looks like we have boiling water. I mean, it's not a roiling boil yet, but we're getting close. By the time I turn all of these, I can put my pasta in.
By the time
I can put my pasta in and we'll be good to go. So we had to move some things around a little bit, mainly because that burner right there has power boil, and it wasn't boiling fast enough for me, so I had to turn that all the way up to power boil, so then that way we can get that going. I do have bacon cooking for the mac and cheese. We just like to add a little bit of zing, and we still have our steaks braising over here in the skillet. So I'm going to turn that down just a little bit because, like I said, I don't want that to get too tough. So just leave in the comments below if you have a certain way that you make mac and cheese. I know there's 1,000,001 ways to make mac and cheese. I don't even follow you know, one direct way that I make it every time, just because I just like to change it up. My kids love mac and cheese, and I don't make it out of the box just because I think my kids would stroke out, but there's nothing wrong with the box stuff. I have, like I said, bacon in here. As soon as that fries up, I'm going to throw in some finely diced onion and some diced garlic. So I'll get that fried up, and then I'll go from there. And this is the beginning of my cheese sauce. So sometimes if I don't put bacon in it, I will just cook everything in butter. But since I'm going to put the bacon in it, I'm going to use the bacon grease, because why else do you make bacon other than having bacon grease to cook with, right? So we're going to do that. Hopefully it all kind of comes together all at the same time. Okay, I got a little distracted, so my bacon got a little bit more crispy than I was wanting it to, but that's okay. I'm just going to pull it out and set it aside so that it can cool a little bit, and then I will chop it up and add it to the mac and cheese in a little bit. So I'm going to turn this way down because I don't want my bacon grease to burn. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it completely off. You guys, I need a bigger stove. You know, hint, hint, Rusty. Of course, he wants a bigger stove too. Anyway, this water is boiling nicely now, so I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 pounds of macaroni here. I am making a lot of macaroni because, like I said, we have company, and the macaroni and cheese, it usually goes pretty fast. So I'm going to add that there. It's, like I said, just has a little salt in it. We're going to let that come back up to the boil and let it boil for about 7 minutes. Just kind of depending, I just kind of wing it, because all macaroni is different, all brands, I think. Anyway, I've got half of an onion here that's diced up and 1 clove of garlic, and I'm just going to throw that into my hot bacon grease, and we'll get that sauteed up really good. Let me get a spoon. We'll bring that back up and get it sauteed up, and then we'll work on this cheese sauce. Okay, meanwhile, let's go ahead and check on these steaks. Oh my gosh, you guys, they are super tender. They're getting really tender. I have this on very low heat. It's still bubbling a little bit. I think they're going to be a little more well done than I wanted them to be, but because it's basically braising or cooking down in this, all of this liquid, I think they'll still be really tender and good because they're so moist. But yeah, they look good. They look really good. Thank you. Okay, so guys, our onion is cooked down pretty good. It's almost translucent. I don't want it to caramelize because I don't want the real sweet flavor in this. So I'm going to add probably about 2 tablespoons of flour, and then some black pepper, and a little bit of salt. And that's just all going in together with the cooking it in the bacon grease. So I'm going to cook that down. It's going to just kind of get it all cooked together. And I kind of let that flour cook to where it's not really brown, but you want that kind of golden color before we add the cream. So here we go. Kind of. I'm going to add this whipping cream, and it's going to make kind of a gravy basically because of the flour. But I'm going to kind of add that slowly because I don't want it to get lumped up. Nobody likes lumpy gravy, right? I mean, unless it's turkey gravy and you've made it with the turkey neck, or you know, where you've got a little bit of the meat in there, then that's okay. But well, we'll talk on me, huh? You want to you want to add some more of that? No, yeah, the whipping cream. So we're going to keep adding this whipping cream. You guys didn't know I had a third hand, right? I can hold the camera and pour the whipping cream and the, you know, and stir. Say hi to my third hand.
Hi.
It's teamwork, you guys. It's teamwork. So, you know, see, it's getting really thick there. Hold on, let me stir my macaroni over here because it's really boiling. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some more of that whipping cream because we're going to use that whole half of a, probably a pint or so.
Yes. Okay.
See, that is really pretty. It's just creamy and pretty. Or do you want to hold this? Okay, you do want to be careful that it doesn't burn on the sides, so you do want to keep stirring. You don't want to walk away from this because if it scorches, it's just like milk. It's not going to be a good flavor for it. So you really want just kind of a good gravy consistency. Let's see, I've kind of used up all the flour now in there. So you have this nice creamy cream, basically. I'm going to let it thicken up just a little bit more. Then we're going to take I like sharp cheddar in my mac and cheese. I like the sharp cheddar just because it gives it more of a zing. But any kind of cheese would work. I'm using, let's see, what is this, 8-ounce bag here of cheese. Oh, and I have to put in my secret ingredient here in just a second. Hold on. I don't want to leave this because I don't want it to burn. I'm just making my cheese sauce here. And you don't want to walk away from this because, as you can see, that cheese is melting quickly. And we don't want it to ball up or to burn to the bottom. So we just want to keep stirring that. Let's see how that is just turning into a beautiful, creamy cheese consistency. And what I'll do is I will take this off the heat once I get it melted, and then chop up the bacon and get it put in here, and then I say my secret ingredient. I always add mustard to it. If I don't have powdered mustard, well then I will add just regular mustard. But I do have some powdered mustard, so I don't have to go completely backwoods today. Okay, I'm going to set this over here off the fire so it doesn't scorch. And I want to check my noodles here. Okay, the thing about elbow macaroni, what you have to think about, and it took a lot of times doing this before I'm a slow learner, okay? So on your elbow macaroni, what you have to remember is that it is a tube, so it does get water on the inside of that little tube. So even if you're trying to cool it down so you can see if it is ready, you want to remember that just because the outside is cool, you may have water on the inside. So I always try to, did you see that? I guess I kind of moved back, but when I broke that open, you know, it kind of spit out. Here's the thing, if you feel the outside and it's cool and you throw it in your mouth and you don't break it open, you're going to get a whole big, well, it's not very big, but you're going to get a tube full of boiling water, and that is really hot. But anyway, I'm going to say that this is ready because we're going to bake them as well, so we don't want to go too long on them. So I'm going to drain these, and then we'll come back full circle to what we're doing. Okay, so I put this back on the fire to just get it melted down. I had it a little too high, but we turned it down now. And then I've got my bacon bits. They were nice and cool. I was able to chop those up and get those in there. Okay, guys, I way overshot. I made a lot more macaroni and cheese than would fit in my pan, so I'm going to have to get another pan out, which is perfectly fine because we have company coming over as well, and everybody loves this stuff left over anyway. I added more cheese. I didn't go get more sharp cheddar because I already had some Fiesta blend. I didn't want to go to the store today, like I said earlier, so I did that and just put extra cheese on top. And then I'm just going to take these breadcrumbs like I said, they're just heels of the bread or whatever's left over. And I just ground those up. Really, the breadcrumbs are just for texture. We just really like that crunch. And I'm going to pop this in the oven. I've had it preheating at 375. So I'm just going to kind of throw that in there until my cheese gets really good and bubbly, and the breadcrumbs are nice and crisp on top. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and get another pan and get that started. And our steak should be done, so I'll come back whenever we have a plate served up and we'll try it all. Okay, you guys, I haven't served this up. I've already turned it off, but if you look, this is the zucchini. Just got a really good char on it before we've added the marinade to it, and so that's going to give it really good flavor. But these little steaks or little pieces of meat are tender. So here in a minute we'll plate it up and we'll look and see what it looks like, but I just wanted you guys to see it in the pan because it is beautiful. Okay, I served up a steak and some veggies, and we're going to serve up some of this hot, bubbly. Oh my, look at that cheese. Oh, goodness. Okay, guys, we're going to taste test this. Okay, let me see how tender this is. It could be more tender, but okay. For people that freak out about their food touching each other, I'm sorry. We're just a little different, but we're gonna pick some of this up. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So a little bit of steak and.
Every nurse I know, they got ice for hands.
That is tender. That's really
Very
good.
tender.
Okay, let's try this mac and cheese because oh my goodness, it looks so good.
And do they have a heart?
Ooh.
Oh, you're cheesy. That's good. I think I could have used a little more
Don't have a heart.
cheese or some sort of
I don't know.
maybe mustard.
I think it's very good.
Missing something. I mean, I think so, but it's good. So let's try these veggies. We're just gonna eat in front of you guys. Zucchini. Oh my god. And our company did get here, so we're really being bad hosts, and we're eating in front of our company. Actually, no, they're not paying attention to us.
I don't care if they are.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. Because we like to involve all of our family. Our niece Cammie and nephew Draco are here. So after dinner, we'll let them do a review on it.
The baby.
Elias.
No.
So I think it was a great success. There was only a few little pieces of meat left. Not much in the veggies left. One whole pan of mac and cheese is gone, but we have a pan for tomorrow, so that's good.
Cows.
So we've been playing this game that we bought. What? 4 cows.
4 cows.
Ooh, one. Oh. 1. We'll give you 5 cows.
Now he's got 66 cows.
Anyway, it's been fun. I've already retired. And Cody auctioned off all of his cows. Okay, Cody's, don't count your money.
What?
Cody is selling his last 10 head of cattle. Starting bid is?
Starting bid is $10.
Yep.
100. 200.
Oh, Grandpa's in at 1,000.
1,500.
Oh, 2,000.
2,500.
Grandpa's in at 3,000.
Let him have it.
3,000 going once, going twice.
3,100.
If you buy my cows, I'll put in 5,000 with it.
There's 3,100.
31 going once, going twice. Sold to
I was playing about
Rusty
the
for 30.
5,000, by the way.
Yeah, listen to
I'm
it.
just playing.
Legally, barter card. Receive 1 cow from the neighbor of your choice.
Ooh, who's it gonna be?
Draco.
Ditch!
You can have it.
It was extra. It was an extra.
Because I know when I get over here, it's going to die.
Yeah.
Grandpa's on a mission to get 100 cows.
4, 5, 6 expense.
Farm expense again.
Ooh. What did he get?
Purchase parts for corn planter. Shake 1 dice.
$600.
That's a good roll. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Just think.
Oh, there you go.
You guys, this is the second time we've played this game, and it is super fun. And we have an extra one that we're going to give away for our 100 subscriber giveaway. So, you know, get the subscriptions, punch that subscribe button, and get those built up for that giveaway, because it is a really fun game.
This game is fun.
Okay, guys, this is my niece Cammie and my nephew Draco, and they were going to do a meal review on what we cooked earlier, but we got sidetracked and we got to play in the farm game. But now, see, we're back and Draco's eating more, so hey, it must have been good.
So I thought that the meat dish, the side dish with the zucchini and everything in it, that was a nice balance to the macaroni, because the macaroni wasn't dry at all. It tasted really good, but with that on the side, like beside it, I like the veggies that it was in it too.
It made my lips go numb.
Okay, so fun fact. Draco, you know, I went on and on about the onions, and Draco is allergic to onions. So maybe that would have been something I needed to find out before I made the food. But, you know, he's going to get allergy med and everything's going to be cool. I mean, his lips aren't big or anything.
They were last time because I ate a lot of it.
Yeah.
He ate more of it.
He ate more.
They started growing a little bit.
Yeah.
They're not any bigger than normal, so.
Yeah, I know. They're huge.
You want
normal,
vinegar
so.
or Claritin?
Subscribe,
Like
comment.
and hit that bell.